I got my 89 Ford Ranger in today because I'm having some issues with it running. So I was going to do a quick smoke test on it. Here we got our smoke machine. I started with our fresh air line here. Checked our flow, and it comes, when you do the fresh air line, comes up to about there. And then you can put this in these holes to see about how much of a leak you could have. And when I plugged it into the Ranger, it showed just like a full flow. So right to just put the smoke in there. I've been giving us the smoke, got the intake gloved off, you know, here. And then you probably won't be able to see it on camera, but I will get smoke here out of my throttle body on the both sides. I could probably re-gasket this. I can't do anything about the shaft here. And then I get smoke out of my EGR diaphragm holes. So my EGR is probably bad, and it's also, when I bought it, it was not hooked up to anything. It hasn't been hooked up to anything, so that's my assumption of why it's unhooked, is because it's probably bad. And now we can go into the EVAP stuff, which I was having vacuum leaks, and I think the EVAP was, the charcoal box is a part of that, so I deleted it. It went, used to go right here. Here's the line for it that used to plug in the top of it. After that, it's gone now. So, all right. So today we're under the 2010 Buick Lucerne, and we've got here our charcoal canister drop down so we can see on it, and then we've got our fuel tank over here, which will go up underneath it. We'll let the car down in a minute. We'll talk more about it if we can find an easy way to talk about the top of the tank. Otherwise, we'll show you the all data. But here we got the charcoal canister with our lines coming in and out, and then also here's our canister vent, and here's the connector for it. We're going to see if we can figure out what we're supposed to be seeing on this at this sensor here. All right, we've got our electrical connector unplugged here. Just taking a look at our voltages. Terminal A, got our source, 12 volts. As you can see, the meter should have that. I moved our B pin. There's our signal voltage, and that's correct also. Mm-hmm. And that's for our vent solenoid off the charcoal canister here. All right, now that we're in the trunk here, we've got this panel pulled off so we can look at our fuel pump here at the top of the tank, because the only other way to drop the tank is remove the subframe from the car. But here at this fuel sending unit here, you can see we have our FTP, the fuel tank pressure sensor. So now we're going to do some testing on it and make sure that's in good shape. All right, so back in the trunk again. We got our connector for our FTP right here. Starting with number A here. Letter A. With the key on, we're getting 5 volts. And number B again. We're getting 0.6 volts. And our last one, C, we're getting no volts. So every time I clicked on the computer for this connector diagram, when I was specifically connected to the FTP, it would take me to the fuel sending unit connector diagram. I could not get the diagram to pull up correctly, so I'm not entirely sure what I'm supposed to be seeing on these, but that seems like it would be a correct reading with a signal return and probably the last one being a ground. Alright, so I did more looking around here. I actually found the FTP diagram. So here you can see I had this backwards. I was labeling this one A when it actually is number 3, and this one C when it's actually number 1. So A in the last video, number 3 is actually our 5 volts reference, which is what we were seeing. And then our number 2 there is our low reference, which we were seeing 0.6, so that's pretty correct. And then our signal there we're seeing on number 1. Alright, here we got our canister purge solenoid valve. Came out from right here. Here's the electric connector, which we're going to test here in a second. You can see this is the port that goes into the intake, and this is the line feeding it that comes from the back of the car. So, walk over here to computer. Alright, now you can see, here's what we should be seeing. Alright, so we got the purge valve out of the Lucerne. Just doing a quick ohm test on it. We've got 20 ohms. Alright, so now we're testing the terminals here off the car. This is our A terminal, which is our 12 volt source, which as you can see, we're getting our 12 volt source there. And then our B terminal over here, which is our control, we're getting 2.9 volts. Today we're playing with the smoke machine again. We've got we're making a fake leak on the car, so we've got our smoke plugged in up there. You can see, and then you hold this down, let her smoke for a minute, and now you get to walk around the car, look for your leaks, check everything over. You see, you walk back here. Oh, there's some smoke coming out of there. The gas cap is not clicked, so the smoke tester. Smoke coming from there. Fixed.